guys, in this tutorial I will be showing you how to make this beautiful shell stitch infinity scarf. I really hope that you enjoy the pattern and the tutorial. I think you'll agree it's really beautiful, especially when done in these lovely variegated yarns. So obviously this is just done as one big loop and then I just wrap it around a couple of times. So let's get started. So this is a Cedar yarn, it's called Sublime Evie Prints, and this is shade 564, just in case you wanted to know. But I've been really looking forward to using it, and I'm going to be using a 5mm hook for this, so I'm going to be making like a chunky winter infinity scarf. Now obviously you could use a much thinner yarn with a much smaller hook to make a lightweight summer scarf as well if you wanted to. But I'm just going to be using this one for this tutorial. So to start with, you're going to create your slip knot. So you're going to take your tail end and wrap it over the top of your finger, and then hold the tail end between your fingers, and then wrap the other end of yarn around and again hold between your fingers, and then pull the back loop over the top of the front loop, and then insert your hook. So to start this project, I'm going to do a chain of 34. So to chain, you just yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, and you're going to continue this chain until you have 34. Okay, so I've done my 34, and I'm now going to work back along this foundation row, and we're going to work into the 7th chain from the hook. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then this is our 7th chain just here. So you're going to do a treble. Remember, this is UK treble, US double. So you're going to yarn over and insert into that 7th chain, yarn over, pull up. You should have 3 loops on your hook. Then you're going to yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now these chains here are going to count as your first treble and then your missed stitches, and then we are going to be working 5 trebles all into this same chain space. So we've just done 1 and we're going to do 4 more, so yarn over and insert into that same space. That's 2, 3, 4 and 5. We're then going to skip 2 stitches, so we're going to miss this one and this one, and then we're going to do 1 treble into that 3rd chain. Remember, that's UK treble, US double. So you're going to skip 2 and do a treble, and then you're going to skip 2 again, and into that 3rd one along you're going to do your 5 trebles. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And then again you're going to miss 2 stitches, so 1, 2, and we're going to do 1 treble into that 3rd stitch along. And then again you're going to skip 2, and into that 3rd chain you're going to do 5 trebles. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And we're just going to repeat this all the way along. So I'm going to skip 1, 2, and then do 1 treble into that 3rd chain, and you're going to repeat this all the way along your foundation chain. Skip 2 again and do your 5 trebles. So if you want to carry on doing your 5 trebles skip 2, 1 treble, skip 2, 5 trebles, and I will meet you just as you get near the end of your foundation chain. I'm just coming to the end of my foundation row now. I've just done my last set of 5 and then I've got 3 chains left, so I'm going to skip 2 and then into that very last chain in front of the slip knot I'm going to do that 1 treble on its own. And that is your foundation row completed. You should have 5 shells separated by the single trebles. So now we're going to work on to the next row, and every row now, so this next row, every row after that will be the same. So it's a really simple 1 row pattern repeat. So I'll just work that next row with you now. So you want to chain 3 and turn, and so that chain 3 is going to count as your first treble on its own. And then we're going to work across into the middle of the shell. So you've got your 5 trebles, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're going to work into the top of the 3rd treble. So that will be your middle treble just here, and you will want to work into that top stitch. So you're going to yarn over and insert into the top, making sure that you catch the V, and then you will yarn over and you will do your first treble. And then you will do 4 more, so you will do 5 trebles all into that same stitch. 3, 4 and 5, and then you will move over to your single treble and you will do 1 treble into the top of your single treble. So you'll yarn over and insert into the top of that treble and complete that treble, and then you will once again find the middle treble, so the top of the 3rd treble just here, and you will do your 5 trebles into the top of that stitch. 2, 3, 4 and 5, and then again you will do 1 treble into the top of the previous treble, and you'll just repeat that all the way across. So 5 trebles into the top of the 3rd treble from the previous row and 1 treble in top of the single treble. So I'll meet you back when you get towards the end. So I've just completed my last set of 5 trebles into the middle of that shell from the previous row, and now we just need to catch the end of where we turned on our foundation chain. So we're going to treble into that last stitch, so you've got the top of your treble here, and then in the next stitch along, that's the one you want to catch. So you're going to yarn over and insert into that stitch, yarn over and complete your treble. So that's how we should be looking so far, and that is your pattern repeat now. So you would just start your next row again, you'd chain 3 and turn, and then you would carry on doing your 5 trebles, 1 treble, 5 trebles until you've reached the desired length for your scarf. Once you've reached the desired length, if you want to meet me back, and I will show you how to put the straight edge along the top and also how to join your scarf ends to make the infinity scarf. So I've just completed what will be my last row of this pattern, and it's long enough now, in my opinion, for me to fasten together. Now what you can do is you can leave it just as it is if you were just having it as a flat scarf that you were just going to drape around your neck. But if you wanted to make it into the wraparound infinity scarf, then you just need to join this edge with the other edge. Now there's 2 ways of doing this. The first one, you need to make sure, by the way, that you leave yourself enough yarn just to fasten the edges together. So what you can do is put the straight edge along and then join them together, or you can put the edge on and join as you go. So I will show you first of all how to just put the straight edge on, and then you would just do a row of single crochet, double crochet, sorry, UK double crochet that is, to join the two ends together. So if you just wanted to put a straight edge on so that it matched the other end, you would chain 3 and turn as normal, and then you would add an additional 2 chains, and then you would go into your middle shell, middle treble of your shell, and slip stitch. And that then creates the corner and the line across, and then you would chain 2 and treble into the top of that treble, and then you would chain 2 again and slip stitch into the third treble along, and then again chain 2 and treble into the top of the treble, chain 2, slip stitch into the third treble in the shell, chain 2, treble into the top of the single treble, chain 2, slip stitch into the middle treble again, and you just repeat that all the way along. Obviously I've only got a couple more to do, so I might as well just do them. Chain 2, slip stitch again, and then for the very last one I would chain 2 and then treble into the top of the turning chain 3 from the previous row. And that there then gives you a straight edge across the other end. So then you would snip off your yarn and tie in all your ends, and then you would tie on a new piece of yarn into the corners. So you would put the 2 corners together. Obviously you would lay your scarf out flat, and then you would join your 2 ends, and then, like I say, you would tie on your new yarn, and then you would just single crochet, double crochet or slip stitch all the way along your 2 straight edges. So that's one way of doing it, but the way I'm going to do it, I'm just going to undo that straight edge that I just put across. So you would imagine now that I've just come to the end of my row again, and I'm just going to chain 1, and then I'm going to turn, and again I'm going to just line up my sides of my scarf. So I'm going to lay it out flat and then pull the other straight edge down towards me. So now I've got my 2 edges together. So that's my foundation one is at the back, and then the end that I'm currently working on is at the front facing me. So what you want to do first of all is into the corner space, you want to insert your hook from the back corner space, I should say. I'm just going to add another chain, so that's technically now a chain 2, and I'm going to go into the corner, and you want to work in the one that is second away from where you did your first shell on your foundation ring. So I'm going to insert my hook into that corner one, and then I'm just going to pull the yarn through, and I'm going to just slip stitch. Then I'm going to chain 2, and then I'm going to insert my hook into the middle treble and straight through into the base of where we did all of the first set of trebles, so straight into that chain there, and again I'm going to slip stitch, and then I'm going to chain 2, and then you're going to go into the top of that treble facing you and the base of the single treble on the back piece, and again you will slip stitch, and then you'll chain 2 again, and then you'll find your center treble. So you'll go through the center one and then into the base of where you did all the trebles in that next stitch at the back, and slip stitch, and then chain 2 once more, go into the top of the treble on its own and the base of the treble on its own on the back piece, and slip stitch, chain 2, again middle treble and base of the trebles on the back piece, and slip stitch, and you'll just do that all the way along. Because I find that this way gives it a nice stretchy finish as well, because sometimes when you do a complete row of double crochets to join, it can make quite a noticeable seam, which is absolutely fine, and I have it that way in some of my other scarves that I've done, and they still look absolutely lovely. But I'm just doing it this way just for this particular project, just so that you can see a different way to finish, and so you don't get a really obvious join once you turn it out. So I'm nearing the end now, so I'm just slip stitching. I've just done my last middle treble, and now I'm going to go into the top of the I'm going to go into the top of that last chain 3 chain 2 first, and I'm going to go into the top of that chain 3, and on the bottom piece where your slip knot will be, you will have 2 chains there, and you just want to go into the one right before that slip knot, and again you are just going to slip stitch, and then I'm going to chain 1 just to fasten off, and then I'm going to cut my yarn and pull tight, and then you'll just need to weave in your ends. But I'll just turn this out the other way now, and you can see where we joined, it's not particularly obvious at all. There is no big seam running down. I mean, obviously if you look for it you will see there is an extra row, but when you're just looking, if you were just looking at it like this, it's not obvious where your join was. But that is it for the infinity scarf tutorial once you've weaved in your ends, and I really hope that you've enjoyed this project. It's a really nice one, and I've certainly enjoyed doing it and using this beautiful yarn. So if you have enjoyed it and completed it, then please give me a great big thumbs up, and also remember you can tag me in your pictures on Instagram as well, and make sure you follow me on there as well, because I do post on there near enough every day. And also remember to subscribe if you haven't done so already. But thanks guys for watching. If you have any comments, obviously just leave them down below. I do try and get back to as many as I can. But thanks again for watching, and I'll see you again very soon. Thanks, bye.